Mornings with Richard Cross rolls on just from a different location. We are joined now by the Commissioner of Agriculture and Commerce in the great state of Mississippi, Commissioner Andy Gipson. Mr. Commissioner, good morning.
Good morning to you, Richard, and it's exciting to see you out there in Atlanta, and football season right around the corner. Thanks for having me on this morning.
I appreciate very much. I've been anxious to visit with you since the press conference that we heard from Brooke Rollins last week. The Secretary of Agriculture at the federal level with an announcement of kind of a 7-point plan to help farms, and really the focus was on national security. She talked about one thing in particular, and that was, at least in that press conference, the investment that foreign adversaries are making into farmland in the United States. We know that we're not immune to that in Mississippi. Arkansas has been one of the leaders with Sarah Huckabee Sanders talking about Arkansas not only not selling land to Chinese nationals anymore, but clawing back some of the land that has previously been sold. And to be honest, that's the part where I get confused. I don't understand exactly how that part of it works. So maybe we need to pick this apart kind of layer by layer. This is something that you've talked about in the past. You and I visited about this in the past. How big a deal is it in Mississippi?
Richard, it's a huge deal, and I can't overemphasize what a big deal this is. When you consider that, these solar farms that are coming in here, taking up huge thousands and thousands of acre tracts of our farmland, many of them, if not most of them, have Chinese connections, and recently the FBI discovered that they had Chinese spyware implanted in these solar panels. This is a huge issue for our national security, and it is in Mississippi as well. Now, I was very aware and very excited about this farm security plan that Secretary Rollins has rolled out. And make no mistake about it, this is coming direct from President Donald Trump. He understands this issue, and he's intent on doing something about it. Now, since 1978, we've had an Agricultural Foreign Investment Disclosure Act at the federal level. Every year, we get the report at our Department of Ag. I've shared it with our legislature year after year, the last 2 or 3 years. And in Mississippi, you've got, 1 million acres or more now owned by foreign countries or companies controlled by foreign countries. That's the information that's out there. It's a totally voluntary system. So we don't know what we don't know, but we do know that those who are voluntarily reporting, in Mississippi, for example, you got 1 million acres of land that is now controlled by foreign interests. And that includes, in some cases, our enemies. The legislature passed a law that was intended to make it better, but it left some loopholes in there. For example, even China now can own up to 49% of any land in Mississippi under our existing law. Iran could, North Korea. So they could form an LLC, have a partner, a silent partner, or they can be a silent partner. And that's part of the trouble with this federal law. Because it's voluntary, and because there's a shell game going on forming LLCs that have, foreign interests layer after layer down below, nobody really knows how much these foreign entities are controlling or owning. But what we do know is it's only growing. It's been getting out of control. We've gone in Mississippi from 600,000 acres to 1 million or more. I'm going to be getting that December report, and I'll make sure you get a copy of it to show you how much has been bought in the last year. And it's only growing. So back when President Trump took office and Secretary Rollins was sworn in, I became a member of what's called the America First Policy Institute Council of Ag Commissioners. And it's myself and 11 other conservative agriculture commissioners, ag secretaries around the country. And we told them, and they've been working very closely with us on this important issue. It's a huge issue, and that's why I was proud last week to sign that letter of support. And we look forward to working with them to tighten this up. Now, the clawback is interesting because Arkansas.
Yeah, that's the part that I'm struggling with. If there is a fair transaction in which it has been executed properly and money has changed hands, I don't understand how you say to the entity that bought it, hey, we're going to have to we're taking that back. Well, and then what happens to the money?
Well, here's what Arkansas did. Arkansas passed a law. Sarah Huckabee Sanders, the first governor to actually step in and enforce the law. And their law provides for a divestment. So it says, foreign enemies. For example, I think everybody can agree, China, Iran, Russia, North Korea, not only should they not own 1 acre of our soil, they shouldn't own a fraction of an acre. And Sarah Huckabee Sanders said that in this law, and the legislature passed it in Arkansas, that if they were to acquire a prohibited interest in land, that they had to divest that. They had to sell it, put it on the market, and sell it within 2 years. That is happening right now in the state of Arkansas. So this is It's a test case. There's a lawsuit about it. I know there's a lot of litigation. These folks, China has a lot deep pockets, and they're very invested in the solar farms and solar panels that are a threat to, in my view, our food security, our farm security as well. So they're going to fight this, but it is happening in Arkansas. And it can happen in Mississippi. So I think the key we need to focus on is that it's our adversary countries, that we just don't want to have any ownership of any land in our state. You've got countries like the Netherlands that have bought up huge tracts of land. Like in Attala County, I think I'm correct to say a majority of the land held there in Attala County is held by some investment fund controlled by the Netherlands in Europe. They're buying up, timberland and so forth. So you got situations like that. But I think we have to, first of all, stop the bleeding. We have to stop this encroachment on our soil from these foreign interests that are powerful, that are our enemies. And I was in Tennessee a couple of weeks ago and met with Senator Marsha Blackburn, and her interest in it is a Chinese company in Tennessee, right up the road, buying a huge tract of land right next to a huge military base there. That's not only a matter of food security, that's a matter of national security. And we got to get a handle on this, and it's one of the issues I'm passionate about. I think that, the legislature took some baby steps to help with this, but there's definitely more that needs to be done. I think Arkansas is the one to watch, and we'll learn how it all plays out.
Well, Commissioner Andy Gipson visiting with us. To me, there is a complicating factor in this discussion. If you are a conservative, and obviously you are a conservative, then you are generally pro-landowner rights, right? You say, okay, you own property, you should be able to do what you want with your property. Looks like we've got legislation that the president is interested in where they may do away with some capital gains tax associated with owning property. But I guess here's what I'm getting at. If you're pro-landowner rights, how do you say to somebody who has land to sell? Maybe it's one of our Mississippi farmers who's been in the business for 4 or 5 or 10 decades, and they've gotten to the point where they're dealing with these rising costs, and they say, it's time to get out. How do you tell somebody you can't take the best offer financially for your land as a payoff for what you've done for all these years?
Well, it is a balancing act. There absolutely. We have to always come down on, the fact is it is the farmer's decision, it's the landowner's decision. But in the same way you have zoning regulations, if you own land in a city or in a county, the government has a role to play in terms of how that land is used, how it can be developed, and that is the law of the land. This is no different than that, with one added emphasis. In our own state constitution, it says that the legislature may regulate or prohibit the owning of any land by foreign interests, by foreign aliens. So that's a matter that's ingrained in our Constitution at the state level. And as you see at the federal level, it's a matter that our president's taken very seriously. We have to find the right balance. There is a way to find that balance. And I'm certainly not the smartest person on this subject, on this issue. I just know it's a big issue, and I think we need to tackle it. Working with our president, working with Secretary Rollins, we're going to make a big effort to strengthen the disclosures. Now she's created a portal where you can report the foreign entities buying up land. I talked to a farmer in the Delta the other day. He wanted to buy his neighbor's farm. It was going up for sale. Before he could even make an offer on it, some investment company that nobody's ever heard of out of New York City swoops in and offers, 3 or 4 times what its fair market value is. Guess what? It's going to turn out to be a foreign interest. They want to buy our land. They want to control our land. And for goodness sake, we fought a war in this country to have the right to call our soil American soil, and here we are selling it off to the highest bidder. I think that's a challenge not only for our food supply, our food security, farm security, as Secretary Rollins says. It's a challenge for our national security, and we better get a handle on it.
Coming up on a break, we're going to continue the conversation with Andy Gipson, the Commissioner of Agriculture and Commerce in Mississippi. We're going to talk not just about the state fair in Mississippi, but how about the big fair?
Yeah.
I'm talking about the big fair that we've got coming up for the nation's 250th birthday next year. Quickly, but we've got 30 seconds to the break. When we talk about foreign land ownership, at one point you said foreign adversaries. Is there a difference, foreign adversaries versus just foreign nationals owning land? Because I'm thinking about all the Argentinians who've bought land in Mississippi.
There is because we'll talk about that on the other side.
All right, we'll do that coming up next. More with Commissioner Andy Gipson after this. Mornings with Richard Cross on SuperTalk Mississippi. Now wait, Lance, is that track one from the newly released Andy Gipson?
That's Andy's newly released gospel album right there.
Beautiful. Richard Cross and Department of Agriculture and Commerce Commissioner Andy Gipson with us in studio this morning. We're glad to be with you. Mornings with Richard Cross on Super Talk Mississippi. Commissioner, I did you the unfair thing of asking a question when you had no time to answer it going into the break. So
let me get back to that.
Yeah, so, if we need to bounce back to that just for a second. The difference in foreign nationals owning land and foreign adversaries owning land.
That's right. Interests that are controlled by our foreign enemies. That is the focus of the Trump administration. I can tell you it's the focus of Donald J. Trump. It's the focus of Ag Secretary Brooke Rollins, China, Russia, Iran, North Korea, any other countries of concern out there. That's the focus. And so we don't want to get that confused with the right of people to come here legally and to become a landowner. That's a wonderful thing. I just attended a naturalization service for 80 people that were sworn in by Judge Dan Jordan the other day, and so that's a beautiful thing. We're talking about foreign adversaries, foreign countries who are controlling interest in our land, and that's what we got to put a stop to.
You have not exactly kept it a secret that you were toying with the idea of running for governor in Mississippi. You and I talked about that. I think it was maybe last October or sometime in the winter. But you officially announced that a few weeks ago. Why at this point? Why so early?
Well, it was June the 11th, 2025. I've been praying about this for a couple of years. I think I told you I've been praying about it. Everybody who's asked me around the state, I told them I'm praying about it. And I can tell you, having traveled the whole state of Mississippi for a long time, since 2018 when I first started running for Ag Commissioner, I have had, it's not an exaggeration to say, thousands, 30,000, 40,000 people asked me to run for governor. Every one of them I've told I'm praying for it. And I took 2 days of my life in the month of May, visited my son out in Montana. He's an assistant ranch foreman on a 26,000-acre ranch, beautiful part of the country. Went up on a mountain.
Who's got it better than him?
Yeah, he's living in modern-day Yellowstone, only he's rounding up cows on a four-wheeler, not a horse. And I said, son, I'm coming to visit you. Your mom and I are. And I took 2 days and went on a mountain literally to pray about this, me and the good Lord. And after a season of prayer, I felt compelled to do it, and it's as if the Lord told me to do it and do it now. So when I came back, that's what I've done, and I have no regrets. I have had nothing but positive support. I've got a support network out here in Mississippi that you would naturally think about as Ag Commissioner, but my goal is to run this campaign the way I've always run campaigns, and that is grassroots, building a grassroots team. We're doing that now.
Sure.
We're getting around the state. My calendar's booked up with speaking engagements all the way through next year. Next year, 26, is going to be a situation of our Senate race. Our great Senator Cindy Hyde-Smith is going to be up for re-election, and that's going to consume a lot of the interest and emphasis, I think. But I felt led to do it. I'm not running against anybody. I'm running for the office of governor because I want to make a positive difference, a conservative difference for the future of this state. That is why I'm doing it. It's why I feel compelled to do it, and I think it's why a lot of people are supporting my effort to do that.
I know you keep up with what people are talking about and what people are saying, and there have been some interesting conversations that I've had with folks who have said, count Andy Gipson out of an election at your own peril. But because of your brand, if you will, of politics, it's more down home. It's a little more folksy. You talk in a way that people in Mississippi understand, and I think believe. I feel like it's genuine. There are people, though, that have said to me, but will he have the ability to raise enough money? And unfortunately, that's part of the game or part of the process. You've got to be able to raise a lot of money. This may be the most expensive governor's race in the history of the state of Mississippi. It likely will be. So about that question or criticism, if you want to call that, can you raise enough money to pull this off?
Well, I'm raising money right now. Money's coming in, and big amounts of money are coming in this year. I've had a lot of people who've been waiting for me to make this announcement who said, if you run, I will contribute. I had one man call and give me $25,000 over the phone. Another man, $10,000 over the phone. And so there's a conservative movement out here in Mississippi. People are ready for us to get back to our true conservative roots, and I think I know that's my base. And when you say you hope I'm genuine, I'm telling you I'm genuine when I say I really believe that God is calling me to do this to make a positive difference for the future of this state. And if I didn't believe that, I wouldn't be doing it. So, yes, we're raising money, and three things we need: money, money, and money. You can give to Gipson for governor, and we'll be taking those checks. I do have several fundraisers across the state that are lined up both this year and next year, and we'll be coming to an area near you. I'll be in New Albany August the 5th, and in Pontotoc in September, and be in Ripley next week, as a matter of fact, North Mississippi. So I'm getting a lot of invitations, and everywhere I go, people say, will you sing us a song? And I sing them a song or two.
There you go. I don't know if we got time for it today. I want you to sing for us on the radio at some point, but, but maybe not today.
I will.
And not today, because I want to ask you about part of your job that you've still got to fulfill while also running for governor going forward. One big piece of the Agriculture Commissioner's job is the State Fair in Mississippi, and there are going to be more eyes on not only Mississippi State Fair, but the entire country's state fairs this coming fall because of the America 250 celebration. You sent me a release that has come from the Department of Agriculture and Brooke Rollins' office, and a request for America 250 to be the theme for all 50 states' state fairs, even those that don't have them. They're trying to get them to put one together.
That's right.
What is the state fair in Mississippi going to look like this year? It's always been a patriotic event. How are you going to ramp that up?
The October Mississippi State Fair is going to be the most patriotic state fair in the history of Mississippi and in the history of the United States of America. It's the vision of our president. He announced this at his speech in Iowa, on the Iowa State Fairgrounds last week, July 3rd. That the state fairs of America will be the epicenter of patriotic celebration. I attended Governor Reeves' announcement of America 250 here in Mississippi the other day. Excited to work with him and with all the America 250 team. But we've already got some great things planned. Our state fair is October 2nd through 13th, and what the president has challenged us to do is to have a contest among all the states who can have the most patriotic state fair. And I'm telling you, Mississippi can win this thing. We will win it. And there's a reason why. Not only are we the most patriotic people, and we want to come together to support our beloved country, 250 years of celebration, we got more time to plan it than anybody else because we're about the last state fair in America. So you got folks in Iowa who are kicking it off next month, and then around the Midwest, August, and some in September. Some state fairs are already going on. We have till October 2nd to kick ours off, so we can watch everything they're doing, and we can one-up them. I've already booked Lee Greenwood. He'll be here live and in concert.
Really?
Yes, I have. The last Monday of the state fair, which is Columbus Day, October the 13th. I'll introduce him on stage. Maybe I'll sing a song or two with him. But we're going to have.
I was going to ask, are you going to stay on stage with him?
Yes, sir. Going to have the biggest fireworks show you've ever seen. And a lot of people, this is just getting out now, but I heard a lot of donors and supporters say, what can we do to win this contest? And regardless of whether we win or not, here's the beautiful thing. The week of July 4th, 2026, the president is hosting a 50-state Great American Fair on the National Mall, and Mississippi will be there. I'll be representing the great state of Mississippi. And I told our folks, get ready. We're taking the biscuit booth to Washington, D.C. in 2026. It's going to be great. And,
I was wondering which part of the state fair. I mean, you wouldn't think that you could necessarily take the livestock portion to the National Mall. Well, you can't really take a Ferris wheel. Bring your own Ferris wheel. So it's the biscuit booth that's going to make the trip.
Well, that's one piece of it. We got a whole lot. They're still putting together the logistics, how big a space we're going to have, but we're going to bring a taste of the Mississippi State Fair to Washington, D.C., and whoever wins the most patriotic fair of 2025 is going to be recognized by President Donald J. Trump And I know we're going to do our part in Mississippi to make our president proud. I've already got military parades lined up with the National Guard and with other agencies of military for recruiting purposes. They want to use this as a recruiting avenue for the services, armed services. A lot of exciting things. A vision of many different types of parades every day through the state fair. Horse and wagon, like our Dixie National Parade. Marching bands from all over the state. It's going to be a wonderful October 2nd through 13th. You can get your tickets now at msstatefair.com. We're going to wrap the Mississippi State Fair in red, white, and blue, and we're going to bring this prize home to the people of Mississippi.
Andy Gipson, the Ag Commissioner, time out with us this morning. Just curious if you've heard any whispers at the federal level about being any closer to a farm bill.
Yes, actually, there were important pieces, very crucial pieces of the farm bill that were put into OBBB. And right now, appropriators are working on some key provisions that didn't make it in that, but are going to be standalone provisions. They're piecing a farm bill together, like Johnny Cash sang, one piece at a time. We're going to get it done. We'll take what we can get. They need to get it done now. Thank you all. God bless you.
Commissioner of Agriculture and Commerce in the great state of Mississippi. Always a pleasure, always candid. Andy Gipson, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Richard. God bless you. We'll see y'all at the State Fair.
We look forward to it.
That's my wife singing a duet with me on the radio right there. We'll see y'all at the Neshoba County Fair, July the 30th, Wednesday.
Mornings of Richard Cross rolls on after this.